Robett Live
on TodayFM.
There we have it. The man who's about to join us now is a legend in the TV and radio industry. Without further ado, I'm just naming it, and everyone already knows who he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Gunn. How are you, mate?
Well, I mean, I want to thank you for that. I mean, I get nervous when I hear the L word because, I'm scared it could be downhill from here.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? It's like this interview.
So, one of the big things that I am a big believer on is long game. Now, you will not believe this, Jason, and you probably won't even remember this, but
okay,
20 years ago, you were running a show called Jesse.com. And yes, you were. And you hired an actor for 2 days to come in to be Antonio, the Italian stallion that was going to be the love interest of Jesse.com. That person, my friend, 20 years later, was me.
You shut your mouth. Are you joking me?
I have waited so long to tell you that, and I wanted to do it on air because I was like, I wonder if he even remembers. You had me in a turtleneck. Had all sorts of stuff, and it was, and I will give it all honesty, it was one of the best things I ever did because, and this is the honest truth, the money I used from that paid for gas money for me to get to Queenstown so I could go snowboard at the South Island Regional Snowboard Champs, which I then qualified for the Nationals, and then I became a professional snowboarder. I'm not saying that you were the genesis of it, but by golly, you pretty much, I owe my entire professional career to you, so I just want to say, thank you, Mr. Jason Gunn.
Well, I want to thank you. And do I feel like I own a bit of your success now? Absolutely, I do. That is incredible. Isn't that just so New Zealand? I just love this, that we are all linked somewhere, right? And that is one hell of a story. And I love it. So when we're finished here, I'm going to go back, find the tape and look at it and go, well, didn't he do well? Who knew?
I found the footage and I have it on my phone, and I've only showed 2 people, and it is by far some of the most chaotic. I mean, I'm 16 years old. I'm full ruckus. But anyway, I just wanted to start off with a bit of 2 decades later. Wow. I appreciate you. Wow. I know exactly you helped a big part to get me where I am. So thank you for that, for the acting career for my 2 days. And I've never acted since, but hey, here we are.
You don't need to. I mean, you tick that box. You did it. Move on. Next thing. Professional sports player. I mean, you did that. That is incredible. Thank you for sharing that, brother.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I play the long game. I've got so many of these amazing stories with other humans, and I'm going to wait decades to then bring them up. But today was one I'm pumped. 20 years later, we did that. So I want to get into this. I think you're one of the best communicators verbally and visually. And one of the things we wanted to get you on here, especially for New Zealand stuff, is you're extremely passionate about, being, communications coach, you're founder of Easily Said. You're a big driver to help, others sort of tell their stories and stuff. Maybe let's start here. Yeah. What do you think is the biggest thing that people don't think about that really matters the most when it comes to trying to tell their story or put themselves out into the world? What do they miss?
I don't think they think about the person they're talking to enough. Like, who are they? Where are they at? What do they need? What is their problem? How can I help? Like, I think too many people think they are the star of the show, whereas we know, you're the guide of the show. The star of the show is the person you're talking to. So let's just make sure we understand that. But yeah, what is the problem that I can help solve? I mean, why do this? I see so many people make videos, and I'm like, you know what? You probably could have just sent an email. There was a lot of information there. And the other thing I would just stress is not enough of it is from the heart. Like a lot of facts and a lot of figures that make me feel something. My favorite phrase, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. That to me is just everything. If you can remember that, go forth, you'll be brilliant.
You were saying there in that thing, too many people are out there talking at me instead of talking with me. What percentage of people do you think are creating content that when they're trying to tell their story of themselves, their business, their organization, are talking at people, not with them?
Can't put a number, but I'd almost say most.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, we are in it just every day. The information we get sent, and we've become quite savvy now. We can smell a bit of a dodgy sale coming a million miles away now. We know, oh, right, here comes a video. You want to give me some free advice, but wait, you just need my email address, so then you can hit me up with 25 emails over the next 10 days. So we know how the system works, right? So my thing is, let's go back to what you said. Let's just play the long game. And I just think what isn't out there enough is people in our lives that appear to, it's a crazy idea, but they actually appear to give a damn, and they're going, hey, we're in it. Like I learned when I first started Easily Said, okay, I'm not going to make you a better communicator overnight. I mean, I do believe anyone can become a great communicator, but, there are certain skills you'll need to learn and try again. So it is, to quote you, all about the long game.
You talked about they get the email and you get the 25 thing. This is just that wave of funnels, right? And there's these waves that come through, and you're probably similar to myself, where you'll sit through, LinkedIn, whatever, and you scroll through enough, and you can see the kind of the mass organic tech, or the tactics, which is like the hottest thing right now. Like, cool, boom, 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 boom. Here's my free 1 hour webinar. Then click on through to the next thing, blah, blah. Here's the free thing. Like, it becomes very formulaic to the point where by the time you're actually seeing it, those that are actually ahead of the game, they're already onto the next sort of wave of whatever.
You're so right.
Yeah.
You're so right. And the thing is, at the moment, I'm getting inundated with the idea that, I have a couple of online courses, but, they certainly, there's room for improvement. Now, I'm getting inundated with everyone telling me, Jason Gunn, you need to be making more courses. So making courses is what everybody is telling everybody to do. I just think it comes down to the basics. I think video is such a powerful medium, but I will always say, just use it wisely. Let's say, like, talk with me, just imagine you're just talking to one person. I don't want to see someone say, hey, everybody, good to see you all. It's like, let's imagine this is a one-to-one conversation, and that you actually do give a damn, and speak from the heart. I have this, and I won't bore you with this, but I have this little formula for communicating with confidence, and it's just the word heart.
Yeah.
Well, it's heart. The H is for heart. Like, you've got to talk from the heart. It's facts and figures are great, but when I can see that you care, I'll start to care. The E in heart is for empathy. Understand who you're talking to. Understand where they're at, and, what are they going through? Who knows? Today's audience is different from yesterday's and tomorrow's. A is for authenticity. Just always be you. There's a lot of people out there trying to be that other person they saw online. You and your stories are just unique and can be more inspiring than anybody else. The R is for reassurance, which is everything, right? Dude, you're just the master at this. Let me know how it's going to be okay. Give me a bit of a roadmap. Reassure me you've seen this before, and reassure me it's fixable. And the T is a bit of a cheat. It's tell. Tell me a story. Storytelling it's an overused word, but it's an underrated thing as well. It's like, storytelling's how we connect. When you tell me of a situation where this has happened before, and how did that make you feel? Take me back somewhere, relive that moment with me. If you can use that heart formula, I guarantee the difference you'll see in whatever you're selling, an idea, a product, will be extraordinary.
I love the simplicity of that, but there's also this other part I wanted to ask on top, Jace, around this concept of bravery for those that are creating to put themselves out into the world. And so many people that I've talked to when it comes to content have such an insane level of anxiety and fear around being on camera or talking to the thing and becoming robotic. And weirdly enough, when I've looked through the ratio of video content specifically, say on LinkedIn, what I see on my feed, all of it feels about 80 to 85% male. And so much of the thinking I know exists comes from both sides. Is that something that you've, like, when you deal with people that are fearful or whatever it is as well, how do you sort of navigate that big pitfall when people are so, I guess, afraid to put themselves out there and be judged, to be vulnerable, to show their flaws?
That's the word, brother. That is the word. I always say to people, you've got two things going on. A natural fear of public speaking and speaking. Where does that come from? Generally, school speeches. Anyone who says to me, I hate getting up to speak, I say, how was the school speeches? Their eyes just glaze over. I'd rather not talk about it, Jace. Mm-hmm. So we learnt so many bad things, didn't we? We were given a subject we just didn't care about. We were told it had to be 3 minutes. So when it was 3:30, we just, Mum, Dad, we need to lose some words. We were taught that people that knew their speech off by heart and didn't look at their cards, they won school speeches. We were taught that when someone like Jason Gunn talks and is funny and the classroom laughs, that's what makes a good speech. Mm. Where, of course, all of that is wrong. And now we get on these cameras, these Zoom calls and these videos, and we're like, well, hang on a minute, it's all of that, and now it's there for the world to see. So what I remind a lot of people is that, you know, we're talking to our kids and our loved ones and business partners and friends on FaceTime and doing different calls. It's just, you know, it's just breaking down what you think it is as opposed to what it, you know, and what it really is. And that's why I always just break it down. It's just a conversation with one person that this camera is just capturing. It's not you having to become a TV presenter. Don't become something you're not. The camera is just there to capture you.
Yeah, well, every time I look at a camera, I just think of I think of it as kind of like a mate. I'm just looking at a mate.
You do. You are extraordinary at that. I mean, I'd put that back to the Jesse.com days. No, you are extraordinary. You are extraordinary at that. And that's it. Like, who are you talking to? I always say before you make a video or do something, just sit down and ask yourself, who are you talking to? Who is this person? Who could we imagine it is? When I made some terrifying shows like Dancing with the Stars, you know, I just thought I am not worthy. I too suffered from imposter syndrome. So you've just got to think. And I remember the first Dancing with the Stars show, I'd recently lost my dad, sadly. So I just thought, look, I don't get this dancing show. I mean, I'm not a dancer. I've been described as overly Caucasian when it comes to dancing. So it's like, who am I to be hosting a dancing show? So I just came down those stairs and I just talked to my dad. Yeah. P.S. The rest of New Zealand got to see it as well. So find someone that you want to tell your story to or sell your idea or sell your product to, and the rest of us will just be lucky enough to see it as well.
Yeah, it's a really good way to sort of think of it. One of the other parts I'm thinking in terms of the fear thing around getting humanized is, you know, if you look at the platforms and what happened with the like emotional shift of, say, Instagram got so polished and perfect and fake, and then TikTok came along and you're in your pajamas doing dances in the kitchen, it really humanized it and made it a lot more flat to go all the way the other way to just a bit more fun and simple and authentic and real, and kind of, it was great. And that's one of the best things I don't think TikTok gets enough credit for, is how it humanized and took away all the, you know, the perfected, you know, polished lives of Instagram, and it actually went to like, here's me and my friends doing something fun, and here is us being human, and here is us living. And I think that's kind of helped a lot more people actually put content out and get part of it too, right?
I agree. It's that realness, isn't it? That getting back to that A word, that authenticity. You know, I coach a lot of individuals and business teams, and one of the most powerful videos I'll say to a lot of, you know, CEOs and team leaders is I'll say, look, you know, just pick up your phone somewhere. Maybe it's first thing on a Monday morning and just talk. Say, hey, look, hope you've had a great weekend. This is me getting in the car. I'm all set for a brand new week, and I'm just so grateful for what we all do as a team. I hope you've had a great weekend, and here's to a great week ahead. That is 15 seconds of your life, and I can see it's all handheld and it's a bit rough, but it's you raw and real, and it's a side of you they don't get to see because they're used to seeing you in the boardroom or, you know, in wherever. So if you can let people in to a little bit of that realness, that's who people want to work with and work for, isn't it?
That funny you say that, Jason. It's exactly what Craig Hudson from Xero would do in his team private Slack channels. He'd do quick video updates of like him in the backyards with his kids or whatever, doing a quick little update and bits and pieces, just humanizing and taking away this big shell of ivory tower corporate stuff, and it's him in a t-shirt communicating his viewers to his mates. It definitely makes such a difference. So I've written anything here. You've got heart, empathy, authenticity, reassurance, and then tell a story. I love it.
Yeah, Honestly, take that formula. It doesn't matter if you're talking to one person or 1,000. It doesn't matter if you're talking online or in person. It's just, and before you talk, have a couple of minutes to yourself and talk yourself through all of that. Ask yourself, why am I here? What is my desired outcome? I always say, what do you want them to know? What do you want them to think? And what do you want them to do when you're finished? If you don't know that, don't push record on that camera.
I get it. Well, we think you're awesome, Jason, and thanks so much for joining us. And thanks for 20 years later, coming back to gone full circle to give props where it's due and give you your flowers and your roses on a day that's duly deserved. So I appreciate. Thank you for my 2 days acting. Paid for that gas money, and I was off to the races. So I appreciate you very, very, very much. Let's find that footage.
And I'm so proud of what you're doing. Seriously, on multiple platforms. Well done to you, man. Awesome.
Appreciate it, bro. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Much love, bro. And I'll see you when I'm back in New Zealand.
You too.
There you go. The bro, Jason Gunn, one of my first employers 20 years ago. Not many people knew that story. The danger now is I'm going to get pressure to release the footage of me as a 16-year-old actor, and it is so chaotically humorous that it's dangerous. Anyway, this has been Robett Live, episode 309. Hope the day has gone awesome. Still more to come. We'll see you in your sec, team.